Hello, and welcome to Tech to Tech presented by KYZEN, where we will explore common cleaning questions and answers. Let's get started. I would like to introduce KYZEN's own Julia Vielhaber.
Thank you very much, William, for introducing me. So in our today's session, we're going to talk about the impact of process optimization and new product design on machine design. We all know that in the past, both trichloroethylene and perchloroethylene were very popular for their cleaning in the industrial world due to their excellent dissolving properties. And they could quickly dissolve greasy, oily, and other organic contaminants. And the solvents were also characterized by relatively high volatility, which in practice led to a rapid drying times. However, handling these materials and substances entailed significant risks. Chronic exposure can lead to serious health problems such as liver and kidney damage or even carcinogenic effects. So the high persistence and toxicity of chlorine compounds in the environment led to a harmful effect on air, water, and also soil. As awareness of the harmful effects of chlorinated solvents grew, regulations became more stringent, both internationally and nationally. In the REACH, TCE is listed in Annex 14. Use only with special authorization. Both materials are subject for Annex 17, which severely restricts certain uses, particularly in cleaning applications. VOC regulates emissions of volatile organic compounds, which are included in TCE and trichloroethylene. Chemical Protection Directive sets occupational exposure limits for TCE, and employers must ensure that other less hazardous cleaning agents are used. Stockholm Convention also restricts usage of those materials worldwide. TCE is considered a potentially hazardous pollutant with national regulation in various countries. Companies were forced to develop alternative cleaning processes that both have a lower environmental impact and increase employer safety. In addition to environmental and health concerns, economic aspects such as evaporation rates also played a very important role. Increasing the pressure to reduce operation costs while meeting higher safety standards encouraged the search for innovative solutions. Different chemical manufacturers were forced to develop new materials such as modified alcohols and hydrocarbon cleaners to replace trichloroethylene and perchloroethylene in different cleaning applications. Perc is inert and easy to maintain, while hydrocarbons and modified alcohols are more sensitive and sometimes require additional additives to prevent corrosion and chemical changes. The availability of those complementary products tailored to their respective cleaner is an important factor on the way to environmentally and worker-friendly cleaning process. The history of modified alcohol development is a perfect example of how new materials pushed equipment manufacturers to consider and develop new technologies. The modified alcohols could not be used in old open-top degreasing equipment such as those for trichloroethylene or perchloroethylene because their chemical properties were not compatible with the original machine design, like showed in this picture. Old systems were designed for a specific temperature range of TCE, both in terms of evaporation and also condensation. But even more important is the fact that TCA was not flammable, while the new modified alcohols and hydrocarbons are combustible. All TCA systems, therefore, were not explosion protected, so ATEX compliance were not given, which made operation with flammable or combustible solvents dangerous or even legally prohibited. With an introduction of vacuum cleaning system beginning of 90s, these new solvents could be used more efficiently. Under vacuum, hydrocarbons and modified alcohols evaporate at lower temperatures, allowing for deeper cleaning without leaving any residues. As a completely closed loop system, vacuum machines also reduce solvent emission into the environment. Also, the footprint and the infrastructure of this type of equipment changed significantly. You see no exhaust pipe, no carbon filters are required, so the machine is getting much more compact. Modified alcohols such as methoxypropanol or butyl diglycol are especially formulated solvents with a good fat solubility, but lower environmental impact than previous chemical cleaners. In combination with hydrocarbon-based cleaners, they provide thorough degreasing and cleaning for sensitive components, such as those used in automotive industry, medical devices, and also electronic industry. Increasingly strident environmental regulations and the demand for sustainable cleaning systems are driving therefore development. Hybrid solutions consisting of aqueous and solvent-based cleaners are being released to the market meantime. The evolution from cleaning with trichloroethylene and perchloroethylene to vacuum degreasing marks really a significant advance in industrial process optimization. This change was primarily driven by increase in environmentally and safety awareness, as well as technological innovations. Vacuum degreasing offers a more environmentally friendly, safe, and often more efficient alternative to the previous dominant chlorinated solvents. And a prime example of how industrial processes are being modernized to overcome both economic and ecological challenges. There are some questions we get asked very often, and the first of them is, if I'm using one of those chlorinated solvents now, am I required to change, and if so, when? How fast do I need to do this? Basically, the answer is it very much depends. It depends on your location, it depends on local regulations, and also on the current process and equipment you are running. So the use of perchloroethylene is limited or prohibited in some countries or in some industries, such as medical devices, for example. In aerospace, it is also strongly regulated. In Scandinavia, Switzerland, or many parts of Germany, it is limited or it is a subject for approval. Also, if new environmental regulations are, arising, new cleaning requirements or cleaning problems, a change to a more modern solution can be a reasonable option, can be considered. The other question would be, how do I know that I have enough corrosion protection in my tank? So for this test, we usually recommend the NVR test so the NVR stands for non-volatile residue and essentially refers to the part of the sample that remains after the evaporation of a volatile solvent or liquid. Modified alcohols and hydrocarbons are volatile, and CP is not. So it's supposed to remain on the surface of your part. So there are tools commercially available to measure this content. How do I know that my bath is still good enough? How do I know? How do I control it? Basically, it's mainly the visual inspection. The change of the color or cloudy solvent usually indicates the soil load. But if the distillation capacity is calculated well, this should not actually be the case. NVR can also be helpful to maintain the tank because, again, the oils are not volatile and they would stay after evaporation of the solvent. In case you define some residue or some oil content in your tank, the distillation cycle can be still run in order to clean up the solvent. And another question we get on a regular basis is, why would I choose hydrocarbon or modified alcohol? And again, it very much depends on the soil you are removing. Modified alcohols is a much more polar compared to the hydrocarbon. So it is more efficient if you are removing polar soils like water-soluble soils, such as water-soluble coolants, while hydrocarbons would be a great choice if you are removing oils and greases. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this Tech to Tech, and have a great day.
Thanks, Julia. And thank you guys for watching this Tech to Tech session. If you guys would like to discuss this topic further or have any questions not answered in the session, please contact your local KYZEN regional manager or send an email to tech@kyzen.com and we will have someone follow up with you as soon as possible. And if you like this video, be sure to follow us on our social media platforms for more expert cleaning content.